My name is Jeff Garland. I'm a comedian of some notoriety. I've been asked to do the opening for a show, but it's not a show. The host of this thing is Elon Gold. I love Elon Gold, who, by the way, my opinion, should have a show. This is not a show. He does a monologue at the beginning of what he considers a show. Books guests like it's a show.
Did I mention Leno was on Monday?
How do you get these people?
How about Bill Burr? He's on this thing, doesn't even turn his lights on. Isn't lighting part of a show?
Sorry, let me turn on the fucking light here.
Yeah, we'd like to see your pretty little Irish face over there.
I'm German.
What was Bill Burr doing? He knows. Not a show. His brother-in-law is the producer of the show. Do I need to say more? I'm doing the cold open of a show that isn't. Poor delusional Elon.
We've all lost our mind, but it's really interesting to view how you have lost your mind.
Seinfeld had a show about nothing. Nonetheless, it was a show. So I'm here to welcome you to, I don't know what it is, but I can tell you one thing, it's not.
It's not a show. It's not a show. He thinks it's a show, but it's not a show. When you watch it, you will know it's not a show.
Hey everybody, Elon Gold here, and welcome to the show. Yeah, that's right. Pay no attention to that loud man from earlier. This is a show. Do you know any other not shows that in their first episode have Howie Mandel, Tiffany Haddish, Bill Burr, and the guy that you saw a minute ago who claims this isn't what it is and yet somehow agreed to appear on this thing that is not? And I know what you're thinking. Okay, great guests, but who's this host guy? How come I never heard of him? Well, that's on you. I happen to be a wildly popular comedian, so much so that I've been made into a TikTok.
The English have a weird thing with the letter T, because sometimes they overpronunciate the letter like that, and sometimes they ignore the letter completely. It's like, what happened? Where did the letters go? And there are two T's in the word letter, and yet they're nowhere to be found.
Yep. After all I've done in show business, Dad, you're a TikTok, and suddenly I'm my kid's hero. So this show was born out of a pandemic. I saw comedy clubs shutting down, and I realized I needed a place for me and my comedian friends to riff and vent and try out new material, insult each other. So I started having conversations with all of them. That's what this show is, and I will continue having amazing chats until this pandemic ends in 2028. I will say the best thing about all of this is that, I really got to spend quality time with my family. Not my actual family, my comedy family. The people I truly care about and love and respect. I mean, I caught up with old friends like Jim Gaffigan, made new friends like one of my comedy heroes, a legend, the one and only Howie Mandel. Howie.
What?
I apologize. What I did was I got nervous. I over-prepared for you because you're my hero.
Oh, wow.
So here's the deal with our little history, okay? It's the early 80s,
Right.
And I'm watching HBO, and you, come on, I never heard of you or anything, and I was so blown away. I had never seen anything like it. Your stand-up was so powerful, and it spoke to me in the goofiest, funniest, and cleverest way. Like, you're the guy who would not only have great jokes, but you'd play with the audience and be like, what do you do? And they would go, nothing. And then without missing a beat, you go, how do you know when you're finished?
My whole act and my whole career is based on a dare. You know that. I don't know if you know that. So in the mid 70s, I'm a goofy, friendless, awkward. Unlike you, I didn't play hockey. And I'm Canadian, which means even less of an outcast. And so I didn't play sports. I didn't dance, so I didn't go to clubs. That was like the height of clubbing. You were in New York, they had Studio 54. I didn't do that. I didn't play basketball. I didn't gamble, so there was no poker game with friends. So I went to this club that opened up called Yuck Yucks. And I go there just to see a show. And Mark Breslin, who's the host, after I see the show, he says, you know, at midnight we have amateurs. You know, if anybody thinks they can do this, come up and do something. So the people I was sitting with went, you go up. And I went, okay. And I always just say, okay. That's why you have me on your show tonight, because I just always say, okay. So I go, but I do. I always say yes. You know, I don't say no. I'm afraid that I'll miss out on something. So I thought that was going to be the joke. I'm not a comedian. You know, it'll be funny if he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Howie Mandel, and I come out. That'll be the joke. I didn't think it through. So he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Howie Mandel, and I walk out. And then I'm there, and there's no punchline, there's no joke. And then just a fear took over. So I started going, okay. And people were laughing at my nervous energy, and they started giggling, and I'm going, what? Okay. You want to hear something? Did you hear that? You know, and then I put my hands in my pocket, and because I'm a germaphobe, way pre-pandemic, I had the latex gloves in my pocket because I didn't touch shit. And then, so I pulled it on my head, and I started breathing, and the fingers went up, and everybody started laughing. And then I popped it off my head, and they applauded. And Mark said, "You got to come back tomorrow." And I went, "Okay." And I just kept coming back and doing it. And I never aspired to be a comedian. I never aspired to make a living at this.
That was your first night on stage. The glove was in your pocket. You took it out and just did that.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's nothing, but it's not a real talent. It's just, and my whole act was formed and continues today to be formed out of desperation and nothing planned. I hope you realize I didn't even plan for this show.
No, you shouldn't have. I did, sadly. But Howie, that is a fascinating story. I've always wanted to ask you this question because, so when I was doing the impression of you, and I would pride myself in writing jokes in the comedian's voice. So here's a joke I always thought, I think Howie would love this joke. It's such a Howie joke. Are you ready?
Give me a second. Yes, there we go.
All right, so I go on stage, I do the whole, all right, okay, what? And then I go, okay, all right, A-E-I-O-U, I-U-O-A-E. I just moved my vowels.
I would have loved that joke.
That would have been a joke. I could have sold to you.
I was so, to me, I did dad jokes before I was a dad.
Right.
Groaners, silliness. That's where I gravitated to. I also became the butt of jokes for other comedians. I can't tell you how many years I was in David Letterman's top 10 list. Comedy is hard. People would.
Yeah, but you were very respected, so I don't even understand that.
No, I was not respected when because I used a lot of props. The comedy community is really tough on we're tough on each other.
Yeah, I get the same with me. If I do an impression, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, he's a hack. But the truth is,
I wish I had that talent. That is
the truth is, I grew up loving you and Eddie Murphy, who did impressions, and like so many. Billy Crystal was one of my heroes. Also, it's like, if you do impressions, it's just an extra form of entertainment.
First of all, I saw you do me. We've met before. And we talked, and I can't tell you how flattered I am, and I can't tell you how much of a fan I am of yours. Anyway, you're great.
You, buddy.
Thanks for having me on. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Howie Mandel, a true hero and the reason I became a comedian.
Oh, so it's his fault.
Well, I guess it's time to meet our writing staff.
Don't show me, please.
Why not? What's the problem?
This is not something I want people to know that I'm doing.
How's that monologue that I asked you for coming along?
I didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
It was too hard.
Why?
Writing comedy for you is way too difficult. It's an insurmountable task.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, for you. Writing comedy for you in this case, yes.
It's actually difficult for anybody, but that's what I'm paying you for.
You pay me in Trader Joe's hummus. That's what you get. I'm the Trader Joe's hummus of comedy writers. Hey, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here at all.
Coming up on future episodes of the show.
I know I'm not a big celebrity to you, but can I just play one? I'll take one
Oh,
question.
no, don't put yourself down. You're not the big celebrity to anyone.
I want to ask you a couple of questions,
Okay. You just sounded drunk just now. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Okay.
You look good. What are you talking about? You're a nice looking guy. And you wear a tie with a shirt and a t-shirt underneath.
This is so fun watching you, and now to be on this show that I was just enjoying. It's a dream.
Very annoyed and disgusted with your amateur production style.
you're going all in on the talk show thing, and I'm impressed. You know, this is a show I would watch. Do you know what I mean?
How about that? Not a show, Garland. All that and more coming up soon, but first, here's someone I've had the pleasure of knowing and loving for 20 years. It's an honor to call her a friend and the reigning queen of comedy. Please welcome Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany, welcome to the show. And welcome to the second coolest people in the history of people. You converted.
I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I'm Jewish.
Well, thank you. I was thinking you were talking about yourself, and I was going to say, yeah, you are one of the coolest people.
Oh, you're the best. No, I meant the Jews are the second coolest, the black people the first coolest, and now you're both. You're a black Jew. You're like Drake. You're in the, look at the company you're keeping. Sammy Davis Jr., Drake, the other guy. Who else am I thinking? There's other great black Jews out there. Oh, the really gorgeous guy with Lisa Bonet's father.
Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah. We were literally just playing $20,000 pyramid. Blink, Lisa Bonet's father. Blink.
Name all the black Jews that you know and go.
Jews that are also black and Jews. Jewish blacks, black Jews. Yes, go.
Jesus.
You know, one of my first jokes ever I did on my first Leno was the difference between Jewish women and black women is just a matter of to
That's what I like to do.
But now you can do both. You can be the and the You can just do all head movements. Yeah, you're going nuts with the head.
I just want to show off because, you know, as a Jew, every now and then I like to show a little something to my people.
It.
And I just want to show off my swimming pool that I bought and I installed myself because not only am I Jewish, but I'm resourceful. And to a certain extent, and don't want to spend no money on paying nobody to do the things that I can do myself. So look at my pool.
Oh! Whoa! You installed that.
That's 8 feet. That's 8 feet pool. That's an 8-foot pool.
So you went.
This is one hell of a BJ. This is probably how long the BJ should last.
Lungs of steel. The best BJ ever, boy.
This was an article I read on you that said Tiffany Haddish explains why small bananas, pickles, cucumbers are better.
Well, there's a few reasons, but the main reason is guys with small members usually treat you better. You know, they are just better guys. They're better listeners. Because and what some guys might say is because they have to be. But, I mean, they're respectful. They're kind usually. Mm-hmm. They take out the trash. They'll wash the dishes.
By the way, all of the above for the correct reason. They'll do all these
really great things for you, you know, to make up the difference for
the extra few.
Yeah, because
they're making up for this.
That's what I think. Because the guys that I've dated with big members are usually rude, late all the time, disrespectful, not nice to their mom.
Just define though, like little. It's like, would this be considered? Look at this. Would this be considered a medium? This is good, right? That's not.
That looks pretty big.
Oh, okay, so I'm good.
And another thing, see, guys with little ones, they always support what you're trying to do. They be having your back. They be like, "God, you can do it, baby. If you believe in you, I believe in you." They always supportive. They're like, "Hey, I'm not gonna get in the way of that." But a guy, every time someone is telling me, "Hey, man, I don't think this comedy thing working out for you. I don't think you should do that." Those be the ones with the big ones trying to destroy your career. One of my goals in life is to have a threesome, but I want a threesome with a really tall guy, like yourself, and a really short guy, like the dude, like Peter Dinklage.
Why? That's a weird request.
Because I want the tall
Fantasy.
guy to be making love to me, but I want the short guy to be massaging my feet and my chest.
Tiffany, I want to tell you why you're an inspiration to me. Because like 15 years ago, we were both at the Laugh Factory backstage, and I was kvetching about like making $40 a night, which is what you get at these clubs, whatever. And you were like, I'm just glad I'm not living in my car and I'm getting paid to do comedy. And I was just like, I better stop kvetching and think in your perspective and put everything into perspective. I mean, I also grew up in a little apartment in the Bronx, but I never lived in my car. And to think like, I'm getting $40 to tell jokes. I better shut my yap and quit the kvetching. Thank you. And that really switched my whole thinking at that moment. And you are an inspiration to so many. So keep being hilarious and inspiring and sweet and gorgeous. I love you. They're applauding. They're applauding. Tiffany.
Thank you guys.
I love you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Oh, how about that, Tiffany? Just incredible. And we could have ended the show right there, but no. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Let's go from the queen to the king of comedy. Literally the hottest comedian on the planet. He hosted Saturday Night Live, sold out Madison Square Garden. You could see him on The Mandalorian. He has more Netflix specials than I have children. I have 4 kids. Please welcome my good buddy, Bill Burr.
Hi, buddy.
Hello.
Bill, can I tell you a story before we start?
Yeah, it's your show.
Bill, last night my kids insisted that we have takeout again, and you know it's expensive having takeout every night they want to take out.
Why can't you help out the working man, you tight fuck?
No. See again now. Look how quickly you got anti-Semitic, and then you've been on for 1 minute, and you already.
Don't bring all your people down just because you're cheap.
This is the 3rd time this week that I did takeout. I'm very
all
happy
it takes
to support.
is one Elon, and the whole world is at war.
It's just one me, huh?
That was it. It was one asshole, and then that was it.
If I killed
God's sake,
myself, the
Post
Middle
make
East.
something so we can all live in peace.
If I kill myself, I think the Middle East crisis will be over. I'll consider that later tonight. Now, my point is, it was the 3rd night this week that because I'm supporting the local places, and it's just I can't do 7 nights a week takeout. I just can't do that. I don't know if you heard, we're not working anymore. I'm not out there, So I said to my kids, like instead of how people say, oh, I don't have Bill Gates money. I said to my kids last night, I'm not Bill Burr funny.
Well, why would you do? And they were like, "Who's that?"
Let me tell you something about Bill Burr. You went from being great, which you always were, at the clubs. I've known you, 25
That's not
years?
the case. That was not the case.
What do you mean?
I bombed a lot.
It doesn't matter, but you were always regarded as funny. You were just trying shit out. You were trying to do, irreverent, edgy
I was
stuff.
trying to go from beginning to end without screwing up, which I was not doing when I first got there. New York was not easy for me.
Yeah, but that being said, everyone in the club scene in New York and Boston, where we also started out, knew that you would go from being great to one of the all-time greats.
No, they didn't.
Yes, we did.
Off of what? What fucking joke did I have in 1995? This guy's one of the fucking greatest comedians ever. My act sucked back then. If you fucking played anything that I did back then, I would have crawled under a rock. Elon, I agreed to do the show. Enough with the ball washing. I don't think you talked to me until the 2000s. The fuck are you talking about?
We did have a falling out.
We knew immediately when we saw your shit jokes and your Boston accent.
It's not true. You're you know what, but that's the thing about you. You're always like self-deprecating and you're always being very humble. But let me show you a clip of this. This is you who played Madison Square Garden.
That cake was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The cake was a Madison Square Garden, and then he put a John Bonham green sparkle Ludwig kit on top with me standing in front of it with the microphone. It was incredible.
Hey, what's up? This is Bill Burr. I'm going to be at Madison Square Garden on November 7th. Come down and see the greatest balding white male who's ever played that place.
So how does a guy that plays the Garden remain humble?
You know what, dude? I got to be honest with you. It's like you play the place, you sell it out, you're in the round, it's fucking amazing. And then the next night, as they say, you got to buy a ticket to get in there. The compliment you get from people is like, dude, you're like my favorite comedian right now. And the big thing about that is right now. That could change in the next minute. Sorry, let me turn on the fucking light here.
Yeah, we'd like to see
here.
your pretty little Irish face over there. You
German.
can't
I'm German. Okay, deal with
Are
it.
you really German? I don't get
Yeah,
that.
that's why I got a jawline. I don't have that fucking potato face.
My point is, though, I grew up, you know, my hero was like Eddie Murphy, Billy Crystal. These guys would put out 2 or 3 specials in 40 years, like literally one a decade. And then it was you and Louis that really changed it, because you set the standard for being like, you have to put out a new hour, and it makes me feel lazy. I have one 1-hour special out.
It was Louis.
How happy were you when he started jerking off in front of people? Because you moved up a notch in that. You became the guy. If he was the guy, that little thing made you the guy.
That's not how you want to get it. You want it when you face the champ. You want to play against the best players. You don't want Derek Jeter on the fucking bench.
Jay Leno calls me. You listening to this?
Yep.
He calls like on a Sunday. Isn't it crazy when someone that like you admired all of a sudden just like, you must have a lot of that, right?
Stop fishing. What did Jay say?
So he calls. He goes, "Hey, Jay, you know, I watched your special. This weekend. You know, Mavis and I, we sat around. You know, Saturday night. You know, we had a good time. You know,
dude, that's a great Jay."
Thank you. And he goes, "But I'm getting to a point." And he goes, "You know, it's really excellent. You know, I got to tell you something though." And I was like, "Uh-oh, where's this going?" He goes, you got this clever stuff. You don't have to drop the F-bomb. You're gonna get a corporate work. You know, you're gonna miss out on a lot of gigs. You know, when I did my question is, what would you have said if Jay called you and said, "Bill, I watched Paper Tiger. You dropped a lot of F-bombs. You're not going to get corporate work." What would you have said to Jay?
I'd say you're absolutely right. I gave up on corporate work a long time ago, and I just chose this road. Did you get cut out of Reservoir Dogs too, but they let you keep the suit? What's the most Jewish color? Mr. What?
Mr. Almond. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Bill Burr. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
All right, love you, brother. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you to the always hilarious and brutally honest Bill Burr. Now, before we bring out our last guest on this show, Mr. Jeff Garland, if you enjoyed that Leno impression, take a look at this. I've had a lot of big stars on the show. I think that Jerry Seinfeld himself will pop in and he'll talk to us. And he'll speak very slowly and arrogantly the way he talks.
I've had a lot of guests on my show. Yes. But you're my all-time favorite. Yes.
There's a lot of nasal impressions that I do.
Seth Rogen, that's another one. He's like totally nasal. He doesn't even say the N in nasal. He says D. It's nasal. Like it's insane. It's legitimately insane. It makes no sense. No, not N-O-D-O. No, it legitimately makes no sense.
And Stallone, when he speaks, you know, he uses all these flowery, big vocabulary words. And as smart a guy he is, you know he's sitting there with a thesaurus on one knee and a dictionary on the other, because he's in these interviews and he's like, you know, Charlie, when approaching a role, I prefer not to be resilient or recalcitrant. I mean, better to be reticent than reluctant, almost to a point of redundancy.
And then there's Michael Caine. Michael Caine speaks like he's got a very bad head cold. He's very nasal, and I don't like being this nasal and sounding like I've got some sort of bad head cold.
What would happen if the thesaurus and dictionary dropped to the ground? He would have no big words, nothing to say. He would just be like, I like ice cream. You know what I mean? Like vanilla, chocolate, doesn't really matter. They got Rocky Road I like, because it's got Rocky in it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is very exciting, Robin. Nikki Glazer is here. Now, let me tell you something, Nikki. I have had Joan Rivers on many times, and she is hilarious, but not exactly eye candy. Now, you are both stunningly beautiful and so funny. Right, Robin?
Oh, my God. You have to close your eyes. I know, but it's pretty good, right?
It's phenomenal.
Nikki is correct. What a talent I am. Speaking of talent, here's someone who claims I don't have a show and yet agreed to appear on the beginning and end of this not show. Yes, just because he has 2 shows doesn't mean this isn't one. Please welcome from Curb Your Enthusiasm and the Goldbergs, the iconic Jeff Garland.
So Jeff, thank you so much for being here because I want to share something about you that most people don't know. You are the reason that the world has Curb. True or false?
True.
Can you give us a little backstory? I mean, I know it, but I want everyone to know that you were the guy that said to Larry, we should do this.
Yes. It was based on my idea. Yes.
It was based on your idea to follow him around and you play his manager and all that.
No, it was his idea that I play his manager, but it was my idea to do I had directed Dennis Leary and Jon Stewart's On the Stage. I collaborated developing their specials, and we went on tour and stuff. And then I thought a great special would be the making of an HBO special, which is what the pilot for Curb was. It was meant to just be a special, but it was Larry who insisted I play his manager.
That's great. And then the best part was you never get to the stand-up. It's interstitials.
That was like the thing. We never have to see the special. He cancels the special before the special happens, and then that's the special. Yes.
Speaking of specials, you have a fantastic Netflix special that's out now.
All right. I know you haven't seen it.
You want me to start quoting bits from it? How
Yes.
dare you? How dare you?
Quote
you
him.
open with this
Quote
great
him.
story. What?
Quote him.
You open with this great story. It's a very long story about a hell gig that you had. Wait.
Okay.
Okay. Speaking of suffering, you know I was cut from Curb this season.
Yeah, what did you play? I forgot.
And by the way, I made a little collage because this is the only thing that this keeps me happy. It reminds me that I was on Curb. There's me on set with you know Larry, right?
Yeah, I do know Larry. Yeah.
You're familiar with Larry, right?
Yeah.
And I played the guy. You probably helped write it. I mean, you're an executive producer. I
don't write it. I only improvise my own dialogue. I don't even give Larry. And never in the history, people come up to me with ideas all the time. And in the history of the show, I have never given Larry an idea.
Really?
I give
Except for
ideas
the
on
show.
set. When we're in the scene as a producer, I talk. But in terms of him writing the show, I give him no ideas. It's him and Jeff Schaefer. He bounces stuff off.
Yeah, my only question, and then I'll let you go. Have you seen a pattern?
By the way, you have no power to keep me. I push a little X and I'm gone, man. What are you talking about? And then I'll let you go.
Okay, so wait, before you push the button, that is the greatest thing. Because I say that to everyone, and when I showed up to the set of Curb, I said to Larry, I'm talking to him for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I went, all right, I'm going to let you go. And Larry goes, oh, you're gonna allow me to go? Thank you for letting me go. I said, yes, I'll be giving you permission to go now. Oh, what would I do without you allowing me to go? And it's just 5 minutes, and you know, it's just 5 minutes of that, and it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, have you seen a pattern? Have you seen a pattern where people are cut from one season, but then maybe show up in the next season?
Oh yeah, definitely. You weren't the only person cut. You know who was cut is Jeff Tweedy from Wilco. Was really funny. People aren't cut. Look, sometimes every blue moon someone's cut because they're not funny. That wasn't the case of you.
Thank you.
People are cut because we have to cut down the show, or in the story it's not necessary. We don't know that when we go in to make it. So yeah, maybe you'll be on next year.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, Jeff, I've known you forever, and I've admired you from afar before I got to know you personally. You're a great guy. You're a hilarious comedian. But just stop with the 2-hit shows. Don't be a series hog. Do 1-hit show, and then maybe give some to the other people that you know and like.
Wouldn't it be great if that's the kind of power I had, where I make an announcement? I'm gonna do one of these shows. And the other one, let's give it to someone else who really deserves it. Can I just tell you something, Elon? I deserve every show.
I love you, and I thank you for doing this, buddy. You're the best.
My pleasure. Enjoy your good looks.
Thank you. That's your good looks. You call this good looks?
Thank you, Jeff. Well, it seems to me that we have in fact proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was a show. And we'll continue to prove it every time. Thank you all for watching.
I got your monologue.
Get out of here.
Hey, fuck you. You take a monologue. They have jokes in them. There's no fucking jokes in this shit. This isn't a show.
And to my comedy family, thanks for being on. I open this show by professing my love for you, and let's end it with you all showing your love to me.
You know, when I first heard, hey, got a message from Elon, I said, oh man, I got to ask about the new Cybertruck. You know, that thing is so cool. Then they went, no, it's Elon Gold. I went, oh.
What a fun idea, getting roasted over Instagram. All COVID safe. You're a trendsetter, pal. In fact, you've been distancing from your punchlines for years.
I can't tell you how fucking tiring it is being Elon's black friend.
Welcome, fellow hostages.
Elon's biggest credit, he once did a TV show with Pam Anderson. He played Tommy Lee's cock.
You look incredible. Whatever you're doing, it is working. And so apparently not working is working. So keep doing that, buddy.
Elon's the only comic that looks like his own manager, agent, lawyer, and accountant.
What's it like being the only man to do a video with Pamela Anderson and not end up being famous?
Elon, as a comedian, he really kills. He absolutely destroys. I fumbled my life. What I meant to say is, as a comedian, Elon Gold makes me want to kill myself and absolutely destroys my will to live.
We all know Elon does great impressions. If only he could make one on Hollywood.
Yo, Elon, this is the biggest screen you'll ever be on, my phone, and it's a flip phone, you piece of shit.
Elon's biggest achievement? Getting me, Jay Leno, Tiffany Haddish, Nikki Glaser, and a bunch of other stars to be on his Fakakta show tonight.
It's not a show.
When you watch it,